Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. Now let's talk about Jonathan Jones, shall we? Jon Boner Jones. He's done, dude. He's finally done. He's gone. And we knew this day was coming. We all knew he was done. This is old news by now. And honestly, that's one of the unfortunate things about doing a podcast once a week. Because when UFC news drops, you got to jump on it immediately or it floats away like a piece of toilet paper drifting in the wind with shit on it. So we'll just do a quick recap of the last year or so, what actually happened, and then we'll move on to what's in store for UFC 317. Does that sound good? So if we look back, let's pull it back a bit. Let's pull the curtains back and take a look at what Jon Jones has given us. All right? He's given us plenty of trash throughout his career, and there's a lot that I could talk about with Jon Jones. That could be an entire video essay, all the shit that I can talk about Jon Jones. But we're just going to talk about from the moment of October 2023. Jon Jones pulled out of his scheduled title defense against Stipe Miocic in October of 23. It was supposed to be UFC 295, and it was supposed to be in November, but he pulled out in October of 2023 due to a torn pec. That injury left the UFC heavyweight division without a reigning champ. Enter Tom Aspinall. On short notice, Tom Aspinall stepped in and claimed the interim heavyweight title with a clean first-round KO over Sergey Pavlovich. Business as usual for Tom. That's what he does best. Now we're going to fast forward to July 27th, 2024. Aspinall's back in action, but not against Jon Jones to unify the belt. No. Instead, he's defending the interim title against Curtis Blades at UFC 304. Another day, another first-round KO for Aspinall in just over a minute once again. It's what he does best. Now we'll jump ahead to November of 2024. Jon Jones is finally ready to return. Finally ready, but again, it's not to fight Aspinall. Instead, he sticks to the original plan and takes on Stipe Miocic, the same fight that was scheduled before his injury. And to be fair, he handles business, earning his first official heavyweight title defense. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall was suited up, ready cage side as the backup fighter in case anything went sideways. And unfortunately, it didn't. Now, negotiations between Jones and Aspinall dragged on. Dana White even publicly warned that if Jon Jones didn't commit soon, they'd have to move forward without him. And Aspinall understandably got frustrated, saying time and time again that Jon's side was the holdup, not Aspinall. And Dana, he swore on multiple occasions that the fight was going to happen, time and time again.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah. I'll say 100%.
100%, he says. 100% guarantees that this fight is going to happen. Tom Aspinall's the guy. Jon's not ducking anyone. This is the kind of shit that we're getting from Dana White.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him? Would you?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do.
It's a little foreshadowing there, isn't it, Dana White? There were multiple pressers, multiple interviews, Dana saying it was a done deal. But eventually the hype just fizzled out and Dana started changing to the tune of, we may have to move on. Oops, it's muted.
Turned down an opponent here or been afraid to fight anybody.
So if, for instance, he doesn't fight this guy, who would you like to see him fight? Or are you going to wait until he fights this guy?
I don't know. We'll see how this thing plays out over the next couple weeks. But yeah, if we can't get this fight done, we'll move on quickly.
I was going to say, Dana, my last thought on that. How long are you going to wait? I mean, how long is it worth waiting for?
I said a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah, we'll have answers in the next couple weeks.
He was right about that. They did have answers in the next couple of weeks. Of course, it wasn't the ones that we wanted. And I don't need to play every single clip. Okay? They're all out there, and I know most of you have seen or heard them already because there's so many. There's always situations like this where Dana says one thing and then says it again and again and again, and then it turns out to not be that at all. But eventually, after damn near 2 years of stalling, we finally get some closure. Closure we all saw coming. Closure that should have happened months ago. But instead, it dragged out until now. Out of nowhere, during the post-fight press conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, a reporter throws out a casual question about Jon Jones, and this was just this past weekend. And Dana just shrugs and drops the bomb like nothing, just a casual little mic drop.
Heavyweight division take the title away from him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
That was not even planned. Like, if someone hadn't asked the question, would he have even said that? You couldn't wait until this weekend? You couldn't wait until International Fight Week? You couldn't give Jon Jones, a guy that you've promoted for over a decade, a proper retirement announcement? Would he even have brought it up if no one asked? And at this point, I don't care about Jon's legacy or whether he gets a send-off. I care about Aspinall. What about Aspinall? Doesn't he deserve some kind of official crowning moment? A legit promo package? A main stage announcement? Something with actual weight behind it? Dana's getting tired. He's getting old. This is not news, but we can see it. And the stuff that used to be high priority now feels like background noise. Major shifts in the sport, like the crowning of a new heavyweight king, get reduced to afterthoughts. It's expected when someone's been running the game for as long as Dana has, but at some point we need fresh energy. We need someone all in on the UFC who's hungry to build stories, elevate fighters, and keep fans engaged. The fighters are still delivering, no doubt, but we need that spark again. We need fans, especially new fans, to feel like the sport matters again. Build the mythology, tell the stories, promote these fighters with passion. Don't just make a quick Instagram video in a bathroom telling us that there's a fight coming up. So instead of focus on that, Dana, he's stretched thin. He's juggling UFC, boxing, slap fights, bull riding, betting deals, the metaverse, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and God knows what else. Let Hunter take the reins. We all know he's all in on the UFC. He lives for the UFC. That's what he's got. I love Dana, and I always will. He created this company, and he's done so much for it. But eventually, just like the fighters, the old guard has to step aside, because this new era is ready to take over.
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast.
Hey you're watching a clip from the Dynamite Gizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now. Here's the clip. Topuria. Ilia Topuria, okay? Now, as we just discussed, Jon Jones was known as a perfect fighter. Whether you agree or disagree, that is what he is known as because of his record. Never lost, aside from that one disqualification, which honestly, again, whether you like him or not, should probably be overturned. There are many fighters in the UFC who can be compared to Jon Jones. We even talked about this in the last episode. Undefeated streaks usually come to an end. Eventually. But with Jon Jones, it just didn't. And now there's another man that this might apply to. Ilia Topuria. Now for the casual fans, that name might not ring a bell. But within the MMA community, and especially in his home countries of Georgia and Spain, Ilia is already a superstar. The North American market just hasn't caught on yet. Unless you're a real fan of the sport, you might not fully get the hype. But if he keeps this up, some believe he could be the next big thing. Possibly even the next Conor McGregor, if he plays his cards right, and certainly he tries his best to act like him. Take a look at this video here. I can't play the audio because there's music. But you can see he does the same wiggle dance. All right? And he's even got the same, well, similar tattoos as the McGregornator. The thing down the back, he's got a gorilla on his chest. Topuria has a tiger, you know? And there was this interaction, I guess, was pretty similar. He doesn't make it known that he wants to be like McGregor, and maybe it's just a coincidence, but these things do show up. So what actually, aside from him acting like Conor McGregor, what actually makes Ilia Topuria special? Well, first off, it's his record. He is 16-0, completely undefeated. And out of those 16 wins, 12 were finished in either round 1 or round 2. This guy doesn't just win, he finishes people. Since joining the UFC in 2020, he's picked up 4 Performance of the Night bonuses, 1 Fight of the Night bonus, and he has climbed the ranks extremely fast, taking out rising contenders like Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett with ease. And just last year, he shocked the world when he won the featherweight title against Alexander Volkanovski. Now, Volk, at that time, was nearly untouchable. I would say he was completely untouchable. He had 13 wins with only 2 losses, both to Islam Makhachev, the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet as we speak. Volkanovski has wins over absolute killers. Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. I said Chad Mendes already, didn't I? And of course, 3 victories over Max Holloway. 3! And yet Topuria handled him, finished him in round 2 with a clean right hook. And then he had his first title defense to Max Holloway. And he gave Max Holloway his first knockdown ever in his entire career. Let that one sink in. Okay? He put an end to the dominance of both Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski within a few months. Something nobody else could do. Proving he's not just another pretty face. He's the real deal, something special, something that no one else has been able to figure out yet. And plenty of fighters who've trained with Ilia talk about how different he is. They say there's something unique about him. something you've never experienced before. I have a clip here of Jorge Masvidal really diving deep into this specific subject. So why don't we take a look and why don't we take a listen?
Topuria a long time. Maybe I know Topuria 5-6 years, and I've always said Topuria will be a world champion. So at the time, I'm like number 3 in the world at 170, number 2 in the world at 170, you know, and me and Ilya are working out. He was always very respectful, never throwing his hardest, but I could just feel, you know, I blocked the shot, and boom, boom, and I go. And I told him after, the first time we trained, I go, brother, God willing, you will be champion, brother. Because Ilya's 1 out of 10,000. I've trained with everybody. Hey, say their name. Yeah. I've trained with everybody, brother. This guy's special. And I think he's going to be a world champion at 155. He's going to beat Charles, man. He's going to find a way to beat him. Charles is bigger. Charles has kicks, knees, elbows, great jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. Skill everywhere, Charles is good. But Ilya is just different, brother. This guy's special.
And he's not the only one who's talked like this about Ilya Taptura, Apturo, as McGregor likes to say. And now, this weekend, if he's able to beat Charles Oliveira, that would be 3 absolute legends back to back to back that he's taken out and still remained undefeated. That kind of momentum, that kind of dominance, we haven't seen that in a long time. A few months ago, when Ilya vacated the featherweight title and officially moved up to lightweight, he made a bold move. He changed his nickname from El Matador to La Leyenda. Do you remember this? Which means the legend. Now, at the time, I made a video about it, and I said it was too soon. Yes, he's showing greatness. Yes, he's on the path to, excuse me, I'm just moving my mic, legendary status. He's on the path to legendary status. But with only 1 title defense under his belt, that's too early to change your name to the legend. And sure enough, just recently, Ilya announced that he's switching his nickname back to El Matador until he's earned La Leyenda for real. So I pass the question on to you. If Ilya Topuria beats Charles Oliveira this weekend, does that prove enough for him to reclaim La Leyenda as his official nickname? Or should he hold off and keep racking up wins and maybe hit that number 1 pound for pound status first? You tell me. You tell me, guy.
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast.